PRX.
Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gentlemen, where did that, I don't even know where that came from. Gentlemen. I think maybe somebody in my life, my personal life, was singing like for the role of, one of the roles in, what's that? So they were singing Suddenly Seymour. My brain has totally gone blank. And if you say, my brain's going blank because I don't know what in the Rick Moranis you're talking, are you? And I say, you're right. I don't know what in the Rick Moranis I'm talking about. Because, this feels, you say, I thought I was tuning into a sleep podcast and not a little shop of meanders. And I say, oh no, this is a little shop of meanders and pointless, superfluous tangents. And this shop is here to keep you company and ease you into bedtime, take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. It's very different. So give it a few tries, see how it goes. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to do some support for the show. Then we'll have an intro and a nice little story after that, because you deserve a good night's sleep. It's time for sleep with me. What in the Seymour? Whatever, what I said, journal, like, it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And here's a couple ways we're able to do it for you for free twice a week. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots. This is one of the messages where I ask you to think about becoming a patron or supporting the show by spreading the word or supporting a sponsor. The best way to support the show, though, is directly on Patreon, and only if you're in a position to do so. But if you are in a position to do so, to support the show $5, $10, $20 a month, or maybe cut back on one of the other streaming services you might not use as much as Sleep With Me, just think about for a second, what would I do if I didn't have Sleep With Me to listen to? Like if you say, oh, I just listen to something else. Yeah, you don't need to support the show, but you say, well, I'd really miss it. Now I'm doing my best to make sure Sleep With Me stays free and coming out twice a week. So you don't got to worry about that. But I do that with help of people that are in a position to support the show, to be a rebel with the cause. sleepwithmepodcast.com/patron. So if you could afford to support the show either annually or monthly at $5, $10, or $20 a month, just say to yourself, well, what would I do without Sleep With Me? And if it's an easy answer, probably you don't need to support the show or support it because of the bonus content or ad-free episodes or something else. But if the answer is, good, oh boy, I don't know, and you can afford it, please support the show, particularly right now. I mean, it's a time, it's not an easy time for anybody. So just ask yourself that question if you're listening. Well, what did you do? What did you do before Sleep With Me? And what did you spend money on before Sleep With Me to help you fall asleep? And then be a rebel with cause, support a free podcast, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patrons, sleepwithmepodcast.com/patrons. Thanks, everybody. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. It's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp, everybody. And, I'm always wishing life came with a user manual, whether it's as simple as deciding what's for dinner or having a serious talk with someone in my personal life, or when I can't sleep and I've got the thoughts and the feelings, I say, oh, man, what should I do about this? Because unfortunately, life doesn't come with a user manual. When it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. And that's why BetterHelp Online Therapy is the next best thing. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. BetterHelp has connected over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient and accessible anywhere, 100% online. And like I said, I go to therapy every single week. I get coping skills, and I can learn how to be my best when things are not going well, to be there for the other people in my life and to help them when they're not at their best. And that's why in my personal life, I'm always happy to recommend talk therapy and BetterHelp to people. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. It is time for the Sleepy Supporter Zone. The one part of the podcast I need you here is where I pop my peas. If you please, I thank the listeners who supported the sponsors. We're making some changes. Probably by the time you hear this, we already might have made some changes to the ads to keep the show coming out free twice a week. But it really comes down to the people that support the sponsors and let the sponsors know about it, like Moonbeam, who supported Brooklinen. Let Brooklinen know about it. Let me know about it at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. So thank you, Moonbeam, for the support. I really appreciate it. If you support a sponsor, you have feedback or anything, make sure to use our link in our show notes, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. But thank you, Moonbeam, for keeping the show coming out free twice a week. That's the first part of the Sleepy Supporter Zone. The second part of Sleepy Supporter Zone is about you getting the support you need right now. If you're having a tough time and you need extra resources, there's links to there's links in our show notes to resources you could connect with, including internationally. Please use those resources. It's also about being a part of communities, being a part of positive change. You know, Scoots is someone who's, you know, I've tried to change for the better by learning more, taking positive action. And there's links to the show notes where you could do that. Not just say Black Lives Matter, not just say stop API hate, not just say support Ukraine, but learn more and take positive action. Be a part of positive change. One of the things we're doing as a Sleep With Me community is building hygiene kits for people experiencing homelessness. And guess what? You can participate for free. Just be a part of, come hang out, watch a live show, maybe build some hygiene kits, maybe connect with other listeners, maybe buy some hygiene kits. You could learn more. There's a newsletter. It's only about building hygiene kits and when we do the free live streams. And that's at sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnightmission, sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnightmission. And that's the end of the Sleepy Supporter Zone. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on this show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Song. Sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Don't forget, if you want some sleep phones, the most comfortable way to get listen to Sleep With Me branded sleep phones, you can get them at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones, sleepwithmepodcast.com/sleepphones, and use Sleep With Me to get a nice discount on your order. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we slow it down and get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing? Trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts on your mind, like the stuff you're thinking about. So thoughts, think the past, present, future, baffling thoughts, figuring stuff out, whatever it is. If it's thoughts, it could be emotions or feelings coming up for you. That happens. Sometimes from my thoughts, sometimes my feelings. It is which comes first, the feelings or the thoughts. Sometimes both. You know what I love is when I'm trying to get in bed and hand in hand, my feelings and thoughts come to me. and they're holding hands, but it doesn't seem like they're interested in holding my hand. They're kind of swinging their hand. Holy cow, I just realized I'm a third wheel to my thoughts and feelings. I'm an expert on being a third wheel. I don't know. Well, so, okay, we'll come back to that. But it could be thoughts or feelings, physical sensations, changes in time or temperature or routine. And also, I don't know what third wheel really means, because most vehicles that I'm familiar with have, like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm sure it did in its original context. But I say, well, I'm just a wheelbarrow. I'm doing fine on my own. I carry my stuff around. I'm not a third wheel. I'm a wheelbarrow. You know, but I don't know if that makes sense. But I'm here. Just let me start the podcast. The third wheels and wheelbarrows on my brain. But whatever's keeping awake, I'd like to take your mind off of it and keep you company, just in case you're having any strong feelings about being a third wheel. Don't worry. I'm going to give you some relatable stuff to put you at ease before, ideally, because, I've had those feelings. But whatever's keeping you awake, I'm going to try to take your mind off of it eventually, and so you can fall asleep. And the way I do that is I try to create a safe place where even terms like that are kind of safe to have our feelings about it. But eventually what you'll do is I'll take your mind off of that I'm going to send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, pointless meanders, and superfluous tangents. You've kind of seen a pointless meander and a superfluous tangent already, and you're hearing my voice, which is not traditionally soothing. It's more a voice that takes your mind off of stuff that's good for background noise or barely listening to. And a couple of things about the show if you're new. This show is not for everybody, but for most people it is for. It does take 2 or 3 tries to listen to. That is the consensus among listeners. Like over 1 million times I've probably heard. It took 2 or 3 tries. First I disliked the show, then I felt neutral, then I loved it because I stopped paying attention to you. And I say, what a great compliment. Also, thanks for giving a few tries. So if you're new, see how it goes. If you're already at the point where you don't like the show, check out sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you, because there's a lot of other shows on there, like other podcasts and sleep audio you could check out. Because the reason I make the show and the reason sleepwithmepodcast.com/no thank you exists is because I want to help you fall asleep. But if I can't, maybe one of those other things will, because I make the show because, one, I know how it feels in the deep, dark night. I know how it feels to dread going to bed, to, work, the strong feelings you might have before bed, after, in the morning, and while you're trying, while it's the rigmarole of the deep, dark night is going on. And all the listeners, or not all the listeners, but the majority of people listening, they can relate to that pain too. And we all experience it in a little bit different ways, but we can relate to how it feels. That's why I call it the deep, dark night. But as you become a regular listener, I hope you can also relate to this fact, is the fact that you do deserve a good night's sleep. And you deserve a place of respite where you can unwind and drift off to sleep, where you get the rest you need and your life is more manageable. That's really the most important thing about the show, or leading you to another sleep podcast or something else, is the fact that you deserve a more manageable life via rest so that you can flourish. And in some sense, you say, well, you don't know me. I say, well, I know what it feels like, one, and I know if your life is better, then the world you are in is going to be better. And that has a positive impact on everybody in the universe, really. And that's the truth to me. So it is important. So that's why I make the show. Another couple things about the show. This is a podcast you don't really listen to. You may have already figured that out. You just kind of barely pay attention and just kind of see how it goes. Some people use it as background noise. Some people listen and then fall asleep. Some people turn me down to a muffle. So just kind of see how it goes. But if you can't sleep, I'm here to keep you company. So whether you're awake or asleep, you can kind of listen to me, but you don't have to. And this podcast keeps you company instead of putting you to sleep. You kind of just drift off. I take your mind off of stuff and you drift off. I'm here to be your companion in the deep, dark night, your audio assistant, I guess would be one way. And just to be your bore bae, your bore sib, your bore cuz, your bore bestie, your bore bra, your bore friend. So that's what I'm here to do, is keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so you could fall asleep. Now, the structure of the show also throws people off at first. So I just want to run through why the show is structured the way it is, and then you could kind of adjust. But most people find the structure works well for them. So the show starts off with a greeting. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Then I say something witty, maybe, or funny, or partially funny. And that way, the goal of that is that you feel welcome and seen, that you get the tone of the show is not so serious. Then there's support. There's support for the podcast via listener support and sponsor support. So the show can come out twice a week for free on any free podcast app. So paying for the show is optional, and supporting the show is optional, so that anyone who wants to listen has access to it. And that comes through the listener support and the sponsors. Then there's support for listeners if you're having a tough time right now. And then there's support for communities around the show and communities where you are, so we can take positive action to be a part of positive change. Then there's the intro, which is separate from that stuff. But when people don't like that part of the show, they tend to carry it on to the intro. But the intro is, it is important. It's not important to everybody, and I'll explain that too. But it is an important part of the podcast. It's a show within a show, and it's about 10 to 15 minutes long, where we're like 5 minutes in. I try to explain what the podcast is to a new listener. But my regular listeners, what up, regular listeners? A lot of them really enjoy the intro, and it's different how each regular listener uses it, but there's a couple different use cases that are popular. And the most popular one is just to listen to the intro as you're getting ready for bed or as you're doing your wind down activity, because the intro, it's not like a book, like one of those, what are those things called to hold up books? I don't know. I guess the intro isn't a third wheel, but it's the wheel on the wheelbarrow, right? It's rolling. No, I guess that's not. I'll have to find another metaphor for it. But it eases you into bedtime. It's the transition period between your evening and going to sleep. So the intro serves as like a 15 to 20 minute interlude where I'm rambling and trying to explain stuff unsuccessfully, but hopefully in a way that makes you feel like you're a part of something. Like you say, okay, there's other people listening, but this is here for me to keep me company. And this man is somewhat interesting, and hopefully we'll get to the third wheel stuff that he promised. So it eases you into bedtime. Some people are in bed listening. Some people are doing, knitting or hooking or drawing or stretching. And then there's about 2% of people that start the show at 20 or 30 minutes. There's a few thousand people that listen to story-only episodes and pay extra for that. But yeah, for the most part, it's like a landing strip. So that's the intro. Then there's more support for the show between the intro and the story. Again, so it could come out twice a week for free. And then there's thank yous at the end of the podcast. So that's the structure of the show. That's why I make the show. And yeah, I'm not comfortable. I guess, like, thinking about it, I'm not comfortable with the term third wheel. One, because I don't know what it means, why it's a metaphor. Like, a third wheel means, and I've been in this situation my whole life, majority of the time with someone. I'm just like a third wheel means when one or two of your friends are dating, but you hang around with them a lot. But it's talked about like it's a negative, which it could be. Now, normally for me, it's a negative because I'm actually would have a crush on one of the friends, and it was unrequited, and usually it was unrequited. Most of the time, I was at least it was we remained friends, but I said, hey, this is not a. And I say, okay, I understand. I'm a niche person, so I have a niche level of attraction that you're not, but so you're interested in my friend who's a little more mainstream. And but you say, but we're still friends, which part of you, maybe now as an adult, I might say, well, let me think about it. But at the time I say, well, okay, let's so you hang around with your friends that are dating. And I guess the third wheel part could be one, am I like looking at my boundaries properly or not? Do I just want to be friends with them? And I think most of the time the answer is, yeah, probably. And maybe the other side of it is, well, we want to do some light kissing, like the people do in Europe where they kiss each other on the cheeks. We do like to do that. And you say, oh, okay, well, I'll just sit over here on the couch. Like that happens to me in the movies. I say, oh, boy. Yeah, it's my middle name. There's probably a better term for it, but I'd say, no, I'm the wheelbarrow. You two hop in and I'll roll around. I never had a car, so also I wasn't like a third wheel driver, luckily. But they say, well, you bring us I say, well, great. So my purpose, so I have a crush on you and you found a purpose for me, both of you together in your new relationship. It's more of like I think here's an empowering term. And then you could decide if the role fits. It's like I was their relationship mascot. They say, yeah, we like having you around, or sidekick's a little too diminutive. Mascot feels empowering because you have to put on a suit, at least imaginarily. And you could say, you know what, I'm not interested in being your relationship mascot. Because they say, well, it's fun having a person dressed as a giant eagle, except when we're trying to kiss each other on the cheeks. We'd prefer to do that in private. And you say, okay, I can just put my bird head on backwards and I can't hear anything anyway. And I'll go lie down. I fall asleep pretty fast in this bird suit. But that makes it an easy role to set. Am I going to be cheering along your relationship and I'm there as an extra fun, which is kind of good. Like sometimes, I've been in relationships and then had a third person actually a few different times. And it was fun. It was like a mutual friend whose presence we both enjoyed. And so I guess you could also use that mutual friend, whose presence we both enjoy. So you could decide. I don't know if that mascot, mutual other ass cot. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I guess my advice: think about what you're comfortable with. Because you say, well, for the time being, I'll cheer along your relationship. I'll be your mascot. And you say, well, no, I'd prefer to just I'm not sure how I feel. I need some time. But for me as an introvert and a person who practices a lot of avoidance, the nice thing about either being the extra wheel, which you say it's great if you I guess that would be, I never fell into that one thinking, well, if he gets a flat tire, I could, you could change it out and put me in there. Most of my delusions had been already corrected with reality already in my third wheel situations. So I never thought I was like a spare tire. I mean, I've been in that position in a different way. But oh boy, this is getting deep. But this is supposed to be a sleep podcast. But I promised you I'd talk about it and try to empower you to say, yeah, no, I prefer to be friends with, I'll just think about what my preferences are. Sure, I could do that. But in your head, you say, I'm going to be your relationship mascot for the time being. I'm going to cheer for, maybe I'll get some pom-poms, imaginary ones, and do a roll, and I'll cheer for you as a couple. Doesn't sound so great as the more I talk about it, but it could be. Trying to think of anything. Can't think of any example. I mean, it could be fun for a time. That's the thing. Things evolve and change. And then your friend might, one of them might say, you could take that suit off. The relationship's over. We don't need a mascot. And you did good, though, as our mascot. It wasn't your fault. It was, we were incompatible. Or you say, yeah, I prefer, if we all enjoy one another's company, I'm comfortable with that boundary. So I don't know. From experience, I'm going to go with I'll live in say, well, okay, so I tried to live in my imagination with the crush, didn't work out. Now I'll live in my imagination in the mascot. So I don't know. This is like, I'm digging so deep in the past because I don't have any current context for it, and I hope I don't. So anyway, I'm glad you're here. If that's the kind of stuff you could relate to, I'm here to help tonight. Oh, so the structure of the show, Well, the story tonight will be some unboxing of some magic. And that's part of our, ongoing partnership to start making hygiene kits for the Midnight Mission. So if you haven't checked out sleepwithmepodcast.com/midnight mission yet, please do. But I'm glad you're here. I really work hard, really yearn and I strive, and I really hope I can help you fall asleep. Thanks again for coming by. And here's a couple of ways I'm able to do it for you for free twice a week. All right, everybody, it is time to talk about ZocDoc. And you know what ZocDoc is all about? Is finding quality doctors and helping you identify the right doctor for you. Because if you're a fan of it, you love sushi, but you're not going to buy sushi at a gas station. It's finding the right sushi that makes all the difference. And the same goes for finding the right doctor. With ZocDoc, booking an appointment with a doctor that suits your needs, fits your schedule, is in your network, and in your neighborhood is easy. And when I was looking for an eye doctor, I used ZocDoc. My favorite part was looking at the patient reviews and saying, okay, when's this doctor available? I like and relate to these reviews. It makes me feel comfortable. I could see where their office is located. All the bases were covered. And I use ZocDoc, and you should too. ZocDoc is a free app that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. On ZocDoc, you can find every specialist under the sun, whether you're trying to straighten your teeth, fix an achy back, get a mole checked out, or anything else, ZocDoc has you covered. ZocDoc's mobile app is as easy as ordering a ride to a restaurant or getting it delivered to your house. Search, find, and book doctors with a few taps. You could find and review local doctors, read verified patient reviews from real people who made real appointments. And now, when you walk into that doctor's office, you're all set to see someone in your network who gets you. Go to ZocDoc.com and find the doctor that is right for you. Book an appointment in person or remotely that works for your schedule. And every month, millions of people use ZocDoc, and I'm one of them. It's my go-to whenever I need to find and book a quality doctor. Go to ZocDoc.com/sleep and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/sleep. ZocDoc.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody. It is time to talk about our longest running sponsor, Brooklinen. And it is never too early to think about that holiday shopping. Am I right? But what if there was a place you could get your holiday shopping done that has stuff that's cozy, that's curated, and that's going to be a hit with everyone on your list because they're actually going to use it and enjoy your gift? Brooklinen has a thoughtful assortment of home essentials to make your space a soft place to land with bedding, decor, and so much more to keep comfort as close as you like. They deliver high-quality, beautiful home essentials by partnering with top-caliber manufacturing partners and using only the highest-grade materials. And the result is durable, better with every use products that last through all bedroom activities and get softer over time. Whether you're picking presents for loved ones or you're shopping for yourself, Brooklinen has top-quality coziness we all deserve. From robes to blankets to, of course, those famous sheets. There are plenty of ways to get comfy this season. In between all the holiday have-tos, Brooklinen's bundles make this busy season and life so much easier. They've curated the essentials for bed and bath and even included savings. Whether you're looking to refresh your space and earn host with the most status or gift someone something extra special, bundles are a sure bet. So why don't you join me? I'm going to do some of my holiday shopping on Brooklinen because I'm thinking, who needs a cozy robe this season? What about one of those Brooklinen bundles? And who could use one of those wonderful weighted comforters? Get over to Brooklinen.com and start thinking of the people in your life and what's going to keep them cozy. Let the gifting begin. Go to Brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com and use the promo code SLEEP20. Don't forget that one. It's SLEEP20 for $20 off and free shipping on orders of $100 and more. That's Brooklinen.com and use SLEEP20. Thanks, everybody. Everybody, Scoots here. This is another episode of our series Unboxing Magic, I guess it's called. And I've been trying to pick up magic sets. Now, I won't be doing any magic. I don't know. That's what's interesting. if there's ever a time like where, yeah, I'm not going to do any magic. I'm trying to figure that part out, but I don't know. Maybe I could figure something out for it. So, but this is about unboxing magic. So I got another magic set. This one is an open box, but the box is sealed. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what's actually in there, and it's a really big box. So I'm going to grab it, and we'll start going and see what's in there. Oh boy, is it heavy. And the reason I'm excited, this isn't the same one I got as a kid that started out my interest in trying to find used magic sets. But it is one of these kits, and I know maybe magicians, and we won't know what quality the stuff is until we unbox it. But this one's called Fantasy. I'm changing the names around, but Fantasy Magic. It has 300 plus tricks plus a instructional video download. Okay, so at least it was made in the last 10 years, I'm guessing. Amazing magic, easy to do. You can impress. It comes with a performance table, and you can make stuff appear in it. It's officially endorsed by the International Brotherhood of Magicians. So that's might be good. It's age 7+, and it is big, the size of like a large Lego kit, like a large one. So you're talking maybe, I don't even know, my forearm. It's longer than from my elbow to the tip of my finger, and then it's about my forearm wide and my entire hand thick. If you want, to get to specific. And it doesn't have, it just has what kind of comes in there. It comes with a poster, Legends of Magic. But yeah, let me open it and then we'll go from there. Of course, I don't have any, I didn't plan this out. I mean, yeah, so give me a second. Okay, so it took a lot of work to get it in here just because, I work in a climbing closet and this is a pretty big set. And it does have some of the trappings of a slightly used magic kit. There's even fingerprints. I'm just seeing on a couple things that are shiny. And I'm not sure everything is here, but, that's kind of thing. The magic of a magic set is that of a used magic set. There is magic in that old used magic set Scoots found. For when he placed it in his lap, he began to meander around. So let's go over what could be missing first. There's a couple things that do look like they're missing. Oh, wait, so this is where the rings go. And maybe that goes there. So maybe nothing is missing. So I'm looking at it from a top view. It's arranged, for packaging and shipping. On the top right is a deck of cards. Then there's some sort of clear plastic tube with fake money in there. Then there's a purple cup. It looks like an upside down. There's things. There's another cup nested inside it. Looks like an upside down. It looks like a little bit like a, what do you call that? A pot you'd put a plant in. There's some red rope, and it actually looks like high quality rope. For magic. I mean, because I've seen a lot of magic sets. Then there's a magic wand that's loose in there, that's long and thin, about the thickness of a pencil, but twice or three times as long. Then there's also two other magic wands with red tassels attached to them. There's 1, 2, 3.5 red balls. So hopefully, and I remember this from the other magic set I had, was that that also happened when I bought the other one as a kid, that I didn't have all... I didn't have all my red balls, my red hollow balls that I just didn't, I don't have all my marbles either, but so I don't know if that'll impact my ability to impress the audience, because that was like one of the things I was like, oh, one day, I'll be able to make balls disappear. And I said, yeah, well, anyway, there's a crushed plastic cup that looks like a standard solo cup, but it's got a bunch of, maybe these are fake, what are those things called? Handkerchiefs. They're not very good quality compared to the rope, red, green, and blue. They look like they're flag material, but low quality. I mean, but maybe they're not handkerchiefs. Then there's interesting. This is something for some kind of magic. There's a red circle, and on one side it's flat. On the other side, there's like pie pieces, and at least one of them opens up. Maybe like where I could hide money in there. A quarter. It looks like there's a cutout for something about the size of a quarter, like a trap door. Then we have 3 silver cups. They again look like you could put little plants in them. Imagine that. You say, what kind of shop did Scoots end up opening? Oh, he sells flowering magic sets. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, it's a bespoke, one of his bespoke things. It won't last, but yeah, he plants things in magic sets, like red ball, half balls, half spheres, with air plants or whatever, or silver cups. He makes them into mini pots. I wouldn't do that because that would take too much research, but yeah, there's 3 silver cups. Then there's a thumb, a thumb add-on. If you want your thumb to be long, if you've ever fantasized about having a longer thumb, your days of dreaming are over. It's here. Then there's something that says it's the money machine, and there's $100 let's look at the money. I think I definitely had some of these. Might be standard stuff. And then we have a $100 bill with Houdini on it. Fantastic Magic or whatever. Their website, not legal tender. And we have another bill that's looks like something happened to it, and then the fake bills. So I don't know how that works. Then we have 3 metal rings that are in they're kind of interlaced. You can barely hear them. I apologize, but that's a magic audio. You'll hear a tiny bit of clinking. Oh no, you know what? I'm sorry. There's 4 rings. There's one in the bottom. Then we have, let's see. I'm going to skip to the bottom right. Bottom right is, interesting. Oh boy, there's a mirror. There's a flat piece of mirror and a cup. I don't know. I just felt something when I picked this up. I mean, emotionally. So I don't know. I may be having some sort of magic flashback, man. There was a clear cup inside a cup that has some sort of ridges on it and a red thing. And then there's a mirror inside, which probably is part of the illusion. Oh, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Then there's a small paddle. Looks a bit like a religious artifact. It's red. It has a cross at the top, but also circles. And then 3 small poofy balls, that I would put at the top. If I was dealing with a CL, if I had a baby and I was making it a Halloween outfit where it was going to be a CLOWN, these balls are the kind of poofy balls I would make for fake buttons. Or if I was making hats for like elven buddies, that's what I would use. Then there's a couple of black boxes. The first black box is 100% empty. Oh, no, there's a penny in there. A real penny, I think. I don't know if it's a magic penny. When a hay penny will do. I don't know if this is for the cards or for something else, but it's just a box that closes and opens. Then there's another box. Oh, that's a little bit deeper and probably for some, it has some magic properties. Oh, it's like a drawer. It has a drawer in it that opens and closes. And that's it in here. Oh, here's another fake quarter. There's a fake quarter. I bet you that goes with that other thing. A lot of instructions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the box out of the studio. If I have to go get it again, I will, just because otherwise it's going to make a big mess. And I'll tell you what, as soon as I hit pause, a lot of the stuff. Oh, wait, you're right. Let's look at the cards first. Okay, so no offense to Magic Kit, but the cards they do have a plastic coating, but you can tell that they're not exactly the highest quality. But let's take a look and see. There's one blank card, and it's one of these decks, I think, that's like 50-50. Oh, it has different things for different. It has a joker, it has a 2.5 of hearts. It has one, so it is like half, like some cards, and then half of a repetitive card, which is kind of standard. I've seen in a lot of these decks. And maybe they're kind of cutting away. My daughter figured out how to do it. I've not been able to do it, where you can kind of, they're different. Like if you mix them all together, you can kind of shuffle them one way or the other. But that's a bit beyond my pay grade. Well, because I have no pay grade. But I'm going to put those back in here. And I'm going to look at the instructions. And don't worry, I have plenty of other magic, and we'll talk about it. But let's see I like to not reveal how the tricks are done, but what the tricks you could expect, what the illusion, not like where you know what I mean. Okay, so we have the fantastic magic instruction manual. There's also downloads. Now, I guess I'll talk about this now. I mean, this isn't like, I feel like this is somewhere between big magic and indie magic. And I don't know, like, again, I have no idea what I'm talking about. So I haven't done any research. But from getting these magic sets over the past couple months, and when you're hearing this, it'll be over a span of years between probably 2021 and 2023. I did notice, like, at some point with the internet, and some of the stuff is like pre-Google even, like the eras when Yahoo and other search engines kind of dominated, or even those kind of stores, online stores, that it was a big, and probably still is a big indie magic community where you could just buy one specific magic thing. But this one is kind of professionally made, but it doesn't seem like it's made by some giant corporation. So somewhere in between. Now so it looks like, and another thing I like about this, now I haven't found any handwritten notes really in any of this magic stuff, but like it just reminds me of things that are never completely followed through on, and that's probably good. That's why a large number of people that perform magic tend to be very good at it, or perform illusions, because just like anything else, like making a boring podcast, believe it or not, takes a lot of work and dedication and repetition to get it down. And you have to find the thing that you're going to get through. Because so this one, the instruction manual, it seems like somebody might have been carrying around in their back pocket, but it's not super well worn. But it was either carried around for a little while or improperly stored. But it does look like somebody looked through it a little bit. And, there's 180. This is where I want to start. But let's see how many. This is like, they're all pretty short instructions. So I'm just trying to see how many. Oh, it didn't say 300 magic tricks. Yeah, so it does have 301, though. But this first one I just noticed, this is this is billiard balls, but it's not. It's the red ones. Oh, so it was on a videotape or DVD. Oh, so a lot of these you got to look up and watch on the thing. Amazing multiplying billiard balls. You must have been astonished by Buckingham producing all those billiard balls on your videotape. And they'll explain how to do it on so you can do it. But it's basically how you can start with one. This is amazing, this kind of stuff. So you start with one ball, and I mean, the amount of work. So you would start with, the person would be, you'd see one ball between their index finger and their thumb, and then another ball by magic would appear between their index finger and their middle finger, and then they could make another one appear between their middle finger and their ring finger, and then they can make yet another one appear between their, pinky and their ring finger. So that's pretty impressive. What else we got on this page? Flying coin. You make a neat little routine, vanishing a coin, and then you say, it's now invisible. To get it back, I need a coin trap. And you make one using a coaster and a glass. And then you can produce your coin right under the glass and finish by saying, I don't like to have too much invisible money because the shops won't take it. That's what I like. This one is your setup. Is this for 180? Start with one solid ball in your left-hand pocket. Maybe this is in my, but let's see. Incredible coin coaster. Have a look at your coin coaster and turn it upside down. You'll see a flap that we saw. Okay. That one's the cost of travel. Oh, here's the penny. Put a 1-cent coin in an envelope and seal it. On the envelope, write arrival station. Borrow $1. Put it into your tube. Put it in my tube, man. Wrap the tube up. And have the ball travel to the arrival station. The bill will have vanished from the tube. And then you open the envelope and show the penny. Did I mention the cost of the ticket was 99 cents? Okay. So I guess I didn't give away how it's done, but so you turn $1 into a penny. That's cool. Silkworm. So I guess these are progressive tricks. So let me start a little further along. Oh, and this is Roger is the CWO, the chief wizard officer of this company. So that's cool. Okay, so it starts with the illusion box. That's what you can make out of the lid. I don't know. I guess by the time you hear this, maybe I'll do this. This could be good for live shows if I did magic, but it was in the production, like it was in the style of the podcast, where there was never it's like, oh, I just went to a magic show. Oh, how many tricks did they perform? 0. Like he started to perform one and then talked about delivering newspapers as a child and getting a perm, and it was over. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the amazing illusion box, that's kind of how to put it together. There's secret things in there, and you can make a bunny appear, or usually a stuffed animal, they say. Okay, this one is called That's All, folks. As you finish each of your tricks during a show, put your props into a box. A tidy magician is a good magician. If you say this every time, it'll become like a catchphrase, and you may even find your audience joining in. At the end of the show, you close the door of your box, snap your fingers, and all the props will have vanished. And you can even use a paper plate, and the paper, they'll be on the paper plate, but they'll have vanished, which is even more baffling. Switcheroo. Your illusion box can also be used to magically change one object to another. You can apparently make knots magically appear in a handkerchief, for example, and do other things. You can also reverse it. You could take knots out of something, and you could even tell a story while you do it. Change a toy frog into a prince, if you like. Time to switch. Here's another switching idea. Two pieces of string. And they're different lengths. You make one appear in the box, or cut it. You could do different. Oh, so this is a lot of different tricks you could do with this. Long piece of string to 4 pieces of short string. You could, later on in this amazing box of magic, you'll learn how to make a friend pick the 5 of hearts from an ordinary deck. You can also use your box for this. You could, write a prediction. You're going to pick the 5 of hearts and put it in a box, make it appear. So then I've seen that that's like a kind of thing with a truck driving by or whatever with David Blaine. Then you could also what else? Stinky socks. 2 pairs of socks, dirty and clean. And you could switch them around for your friend, for amusement. Make them appear. Super soda, and take 1 can of soda, pour it in a glass. I don't understand that one. bananas, refill a banana. Oh, so it's like somehow you're refilling it with magic. I don't understand how the illusion works, so. And then, okay, so this is a magic wand, and now we're getting into. So you can use the wand to point at objects, wave the wand, and you could, watch a video where you learn how to pluck money from midair. But you could also make a wand wobble like it's made of rubber. My wobbly magic wand. You could make the wand appear. Produce a wand. You just take a small box, like a card case, and you can make it come out of the box. Somehow you could also make the wand cling to your hand, and you could make it professionally cling to your hand. So that's cool. So you could really up the trick. Rolling wand. You can make it magically roll across the table like you have magnetic powers or power of mind force. Wow, that's cool. Numbered wand. You could discover a number that is being thought of. And you need a clock. You tap on the number. I don't understand that one, but that's me. You can lift it out of a bottle. You can somehow hold the wand and put a ring on it and make the ring move up and down the wand. You can use it for different things. You can produce your wand from anywhere. Okay, then they have a purple mystery box. I think mine is black, but you can put an object inside and make it disappear. That's always cool, man. I don't know how they do that, even though I have the magic kit. Backwards mystery box. Great finish for your show. Get the audience at the end of the show. Fill your box with candy and show them your empty box. Then make a magical gesture to open the box and show the appearance of the candy and share it with the audience. So maybe this is a different box than the one we're seeing. And you can always use more than one of your props together to create even more magic. And it could reappear by using duplicates of your cards. You can make two cards appear in special boxes. To make your card reappear or appear even more spectacular, you'll need two identical cards. You can make a magical message appear, boxy production and prediction. You could take a stage effect further by making a real object be produced from the box, like a watch or a hanky. Show the empty box and then make something appear for real there. You could also use it for covert information, to have a message for something you couldn't even know, and show them that you're like a half mind reader, half spy. So, somehow you put that. And then there's the amazing money paddle. This is a simple piece of sleight of hand. So you have a paddle and you move it around. You can show both sides that there's nothing in there. And you can really you can make a coin appear. You can multiply coins. You can make real money. You can make money vanish. You could also have a coin produced and a rebounding coin. You could make unlimited money appear. You could change money. You could do a full changing routine. Okay, then we have the magic coin base. I was looking at that earlier. It's another apparatus that is more than it first appears to be. So it's like a three-piece thing. You place a coin. I'm going to try to take the coin without you seeing me, and you could just make the coin disappear. You could also duplicate the coin. You can make it go from your mystery box there to the thing. You could also switch coins. You could use the mystery box in this thing for candy. Change heads or tails. You could use your paddle with this. Then there's something called cups and balls. And I said, I thought that was like a sporting analogy, but before your show, you have these cups. Oh, and the sponge balls. Those are the ones I was like, oh, I put them on a baby clown outfit. And you can make, I don't know, you make like the sponge balls appear and disappear and move from cup to cup. That's always cool. Or they could appear like on the top. You can make them multiply. You could even have the audience, help with that. Okay, then there's something called the French drop, which I guess is a big magic thing. You can make the wand go through the cup, which is interesting, or go deeper than you thought possible. Super depth illusion, crazy depth illusion, vanishing milk. So this comes with maybe I had this one. Where you can make an entire glass of milk vanish. So that was like one of the things. So then you can do vanishing milk and cookie, chocolate milk, suspending milk, a hanky from milk. Then you have a special card box. That was the one I was looking at. You can even use magic. I didn't see a way to use that for magic, but apparently there is a way to use that for vanishing cards, confusing cards, restoring cards, writing from the other world, cards leaping or getting away, make money appear. Wow, photos, silly photos. I guess this is older because it says you could search for jobs from the newspaper and forcing a card. So then we get into the card tricks. So yeah, a lot in here, but yeah, we'll stop here, and then I got more indie tricks we'll go through here in a second. Everybody scoots back here with some more magic. Now, we're going to get into some indie magic right now. So, fun stuff. I'm going to reach down. I'm going to tell you what I found, and we'll go from there. Okay, so these are all things you could probably get on the internet, and some of them are still wrapped. This one is called the Pantom, pronounced with an F, rising card. And an image of a deck of cards magically appears on a picture of an empty glass tumbler. Then a freely selected card rises out of the picture of the card deck. And you could use any deck of cards. It comes with the apparatus and instructions. This is a novel rising card effect. You display an ordinary deck of cards, which can be examined and shuffled. A card can freely be selected from the deck and may be signed if you wish. The performer now explains that the normal rising card routine involves placing the deck in a glass tumbler and commanding the card to rise. But with all the broken tumblers in your bag of props, modified the trick. Performer now displays a large card with a piece of glass, with a picture of a glass tumbler, stating he now uses a tumbler, which is easier to pack and guaranteed not to break. A deck of cards is placed on a large card depicting the tumbler, and the performer attempts to capture the image of the deck in the tumbler. The deck is tipped off the card, and there is now an image of the cards inside the tumbler. Now you name your card and command it to rise from the deck. And also, as a spectator does, the card rises from the picture of the deck and the tumbler. And as it rises, it can clearly be seen to be the selected card, complete with the signature. The card can be pulled out of the deck and can be given for examination. So cool. Sounds fun. That one sounds like magic. This one sounds up my alley. Probably because you can use a regular deck, I guess. Okay, this one is a trademark or copyright from 1974. 123 Change it comes from Virginia. Magic by mail, way back then. Oh, and it looks like it has more than one trick in here. There's also another one called interference. Here, interference. A performer shows two cards, one which folds lengthways and the other folds sideways. After the cards are folded, it is seen that each of the cards has a small round hole going through them. The long folded card is placed inside the sideways folded card, and the holes are aligned. A cigarette or pencil is inserted into the hole, thus securing the cards together. Suddenly, the long card is pulled back and forth, penetrating the cigarettes. The cigarette is removed, and the cards are shown to be intact. Cool. I mean, that's two tricks I probably could do. And then this one is the 1, 2, 3 change. Oh, there's two tricks actually here. So let's do 1, 2, 3 change first. Okay, 1, 2, 3 change. 3 cards are shown face up, and the audience is asked to remember the middle one. The cards are turned face down, and the middle one is removed. The remaining cards are turned over to show the middle one has been removed. The middle card is named and turned over to reveal it is now completely changed. Cool. So that one, 1, 2, 3, change. That's a pretty simple trick. And this last one is called two-card Monty. Two-card Monty. Each, two different cards are shown to someone. One is face up, the other face down. Both cards are shown front and back. One card is placed behind the performer's back. Quicker than the blink of an eye, the two cards change places. And you don't even have to do this. Can be repeated over and over again. Cool. So one card face up, one card face down. You show them front and back. Then you place one behind your back, and then the cards somehow change places. Very exciting. This next one has effects on it. It's called Andrus Floating Card. And it shows someone that looks like a higher power from another universe against a spiraling background holding two cards, and one seems to be floating. And it has the two cards. Also has other things you can buy. Zone Zero, a Jerry's Classic effect, vanish items behind, into a hole in the center of the board, a Gemini ring, ring and string magic, and the Ellis ring principle, precision machined ring, easy handling, can flip to, they don't have any prices, card control. 2 volume set contains different card things. You won't find false cuts, shuffles, etc. Only slights. That'll give you new horizons. The Miracle, Jerry's routine where he produces 4 silver dollars from 2 cards, and then smaller and smaller torn pieces. The Gordon Diary. Card is selected from a borrowed shuffled deck, names any date, looks up, and the card is in the performer's pocket diary. The selected card is printed on their date. Okay, Andrus Floating Card. A king and queen are removed from a deck of cards and freely shown. The queen is laid on top of the king and begins to levitate. The king is lifted and waved beneath the floating queen. Finally, the queen floats down to the king, and both cards are freely shown. So you can make a card float. One thing I'm learning with, I'll have to label these, is like red deck or blue decks, because some are red decked cards and some are blue decked cards. Okay, this one originally cost $7.99 at a magic store. Repeat Me, it's called. 10 cards are displayed mixed face down. 5 are given to the performer and the spectator. Okay, so 10 cards are displayed face down. 5 are given to the performer, 5 to the spectator. The packets are placed behind their backs, and 1 card is selected and placed on the table face down. Okay, so each put them behind their backs, and one card, the selected face down cards are exchanged and placed in opposite packets face up from behind the back. The remaining face downs are revealing I don't understand this one. So, yeah, I don't know. This one's like a dyslexia one. The packets are both tabled and spread to reveal the same identical card face up. The remaining face down cards are turned face up, revealing identical value and suit of every card, of a totally different card. Let me see. So it comes with cards, red deck. So a lot of these are red deck cards. So I guess it's like something about the cards as a trick. I don't know. If you have this much magic, you gotta be pretty organized. Okay, we got another bag full of tricks. I'm gonna hold on though. So I also have envelopes that people bought, like ordered them in. I wonder if it's the same person. This one is like I was talking about. Okay, so this is good. We're investigating. I'm not going to reveal anybody's names, but some of these were bought and sent from different places. This one was 2001, August 20th is when it was shipped from one magic place. This one is from another magic place from 2001, November 2nd. And this last one, 2002, July, and the person was in the same place, but 3 different companies and then one unlabeled. So this first one just has a bunch of rubber bands, and then the rubber bands are 20 years old, so they say, "Dear buyer, I'm no longer including the linked gimmick bands. People were getting upset and asked to have their money back because they would break." Okay. What they failed to realize was the link bands were homemade, and eventually, throughout time and constant use, they will break. I've taken out the responsibility and blame for them in this matter by not including the link bands, and ask that you make the gimmicks yourself. Break the band in half, super glue it back together. Unfortunately, on this one, it doesn't include the instructions. It's just an envelope with a bunch of old rubber bands. Okay, this next one is called The Amazing Floating Glass. And the effect is the magician picks up a frosted glass and a bottle of wine or champagne, pours the liquid from the bottle into the glass, and as the magician lets go, the glass remains there floating as it's being filled. Then the magician takes the glass, finishes pouring, puts the bottle down, and drinks from the glass. And this, I think, is a design your own because there's nothing in here. I don't know. The bag that the stuff came in is pretty full, though. Okay, this is one called Over and Over. And you show cards appearing from nowhere over and over again. Some of these are just I just don't know anything about magic, Okay, this one looks funny. Controlled thoughts. You have your spectator pick your thoughts. You prove to your spectator that you did, in fact, control their thoughts. And you have a small envelope containing 4 collector cards. Show it with the flap side up and the top 3 cards sticking out. And don't let the spectator see the 4th. Oh, this is the performance. Oh, this one's pretty funny because it has, I like this one. It says you're thinking of the troll card. And it has a troll card with like one of those trolls from the movies before they were movies, when they were just toys. Connie Francis American Bandstand card. And a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers card. I don't know how it works, though. Okay, we got one more pretty packed envelope here. So I think this has a lot of just tricks, instructions on paper. Okay, this one's 3-card money, which we did before. Then another one, 2-card money, but none of the cards are in this envelope, but that's fine because we have so many tricks. And then some invisible thread. That could be handy one day. Okay, we got another bag here. There's one for conjuring, but the Busker Conjurer. And then there's a bunch of other stuff in here, little tricks. $2 Monty or dollar Monty. And again, this comes with the cards, the equipment. I want to know I don't want to know the gimmick though. I want to know the performance. Here we go. I'm going to show you how I lost money playing 3-card Monty in New York. You've heard of the game, haven't you? Many versions, but they all involve money and cards. Take out some cards, hold the money with your right hand while your left hand pivots the cards down. I don't know. You might show something. Then there's one 4-card Monty, 4-4-4. 4 cards alike, 5 different. You're going to turn over the cards face down. Okay, I don't want to reveal those ones. And then I got another one here. A lot of Monty, you know. This one's just called Card Trick. It's from Austria. From Vienna Magic. 4 kings are transformed into 4 point cards, which may be examined by the audience. And that one does look pretty cool. Like it's a sleight of hand one. Okay, this one's called Wild Thing. Double climax wild card effect with blank cards from 1989. It actually has 8-bit, like a Zilla of Gods, when 8-bit, like this was printed like with Print Shop or something. Okay, this has also bicycle style cards, red deck. Okay, setup, performance, you got to do some stuff that I can't do, force decks and stuff. So that's beyond my means right now. Magic, I don't perform it. I just use it I just open magic tricks. Okay, this one's called The Touch, typewritten. Secret, I don't see the effect. 9 face down cards are shown and cut. The spectator removes 1 card, places it face down to the side. You divide the remaining cards into 2 piles of 4. By touching the backs of the card, you find the pair that matches. Not only does the pair match, it matches a card removed by the spectator. Okay, I don't understand that one. And then this is the busker. This is a lecture. So, this is more of a storytelling. So I'll have to, it might have, I'll check this out, but I can't read anything, that I can open stuff and kind of read instructions, but I want to read a story somebody wrote. Okay, this one is boomerang card change. Card is shown front and back, flipped into the air, and changes into another card that can be shown front and back. But the card isn't in the thing, so maybe I'll find it in the bag. But probably you could do this anyway. Okay, this one's a quarter in an envelope. Pencil through the quarter trick. Show the quarter or $50 on both sides. Hold the coin on both edges between the thumb and finger and face the audience. Push the pencil through the coin and then show them that it's still solid. And there's even a way to fix it, I guess. Okay, fantastic presto. 6 colors to 1 color. It's a stick with 6 colors on one side and 1 color on the other. Effect. The magician shows a rod with 6 different colors on both sides. The spectator is asked to choose a number from 1 to 6. The performer then shows a color which responds to the chosen number, flips over, and the entire thing is the selected color. Oh, but I don't know how you do that to make them pick a color. So that one's beyond me. Anything forced dealing, I just not... Well, this one's interesting. It has a giant mirror and a couple other things in here. Domino. Congratulations, you've purchased one of the best and most clever pieces of close-up mentalism either. Domino divination. It's devastating on an audience and simple. A large flat domino is shown. Unlike an ordinary domino, this one it has dots. You explain that you made a prediction with hopeful it'll come true. Oh, so the spectator can move the dots. They're movable to form any one of the standard domino patterns. Then you hold a mirror next to the domino. See, there's my prediction in the mirror. This will get a laugh. This is a prelude to what's to follow. Now your actual prediction is revealed, and it's 100% correct every time. So, I don't know. And then this last one is some sort of ring on a string tricks, or maybe more than one trick is in there. The ring thing is a very clever coin on card effect that is certain to amaze your audience. English penny with a hole in it resting in his fingers, a silicon cord threaded through the hole. 2 spectators make an overhand knot in the cord and tighten it, securing the coin in place. Once the coin is secured and the spectators hold the end of the cards, the hand holding the coin is covered with a hanky. The magician makes a magical gesture over the hanky. It's removed and the coin has vanished, and there's a wedding band inside the knots. And that is the trick. This bag was $60 actually that I just went through the final one. 6 tricks for $60. So pretty cool. So yeah, that's a little more sleepy magic for you all. Good night. All right, I want to thank everybody that became a patron recently. I want to thank Stephanie, Cheryl, and Sarah. Thanks, and good night. Nora, Mandy, and Melissa. Thanks, and good night. Dan, STF, and Sarah. Thank you, thanks, and good night. JR, Ed, and Mark. Thanks, and good night. Jessica, Travis, and Shauna. Thanks, and good night. Hillary, Gary, and Caitlin. Thanks, and good night. Savannah, Shanna, and Alex. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Sue, Corey, and David. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Mike, Chrissy, and Patricia. Thank you, thanks, and good night. And Janet, Jeannie, and Jean. Thank you, thanks, and good night. Sleep With Me is here as a free podcast because people support the show on Patreon and support our sponsors. That's how we're able to be here twice a week. We grow as a podcast by people just spreading the word, like letting people know about the podcast and, telling people about it or joining our referral program, sleepwithmepodcast.com/refer. And referring people to the show and getting rewarded for that. But I could not do it without everybody. And we've got all these extra episodes in the feed now, 400 and whatever, 30 something. I don't know what we have at this moment. But, and that's thanks to everybody who supports the sponsors like these Tuck You In sponsors too. Thanks and good night. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. And it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, BetterHelp. I don't know about you, but I always wished life it came with a user manual, whether it's dealing with my thoughts or my feelings or, what's getting in the way of me falling asleep or my relationships with other people. I don't have a user manual, but what I do have is a work I do with my therapist. And yeah, unfortunately, life doesn't come with a user manual. So when it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. Navigating any of life's challenges can make you feel unsure, whether it's a career change, a new relationship, or becoming a parent. Therapists are trained to help you figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills, which makes therapy the closest thing to a guided tour of the complex engine called you. BetterHelp has connected over 3 million people with licensed therapists. It's convenient and accessible anywhere, 100% online. And I know from my work I do in therapy every single week that BetterHelp is a great option. It's an option I recommend to people in my personal life because I get so much out of therapy. I get coping skills. It helps me be my best self and be my best self with other people in my life and also deal with other people when they're not at their best. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists. Therapists available 100% online, plus it's affordable. You just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. There's no waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/sleepwithme. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sleepwithme. Thanks, everybody.